Hey everybody, my name is Daryl.
Hey, I'm Janice.
And we had a chance a few weeks ago to tour a distillery in Nashville, Tennessee that we thought was really cool and wanted to share it with you guys. And we bought a little fun product that we thought we would try out and let you guys see how we do it. So the name of the distillery is Nelson's Green Brier Distillery. And it's located kind of in the heart of downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Really easy to get to if you're in the area. Fun place to go and spend some time. Learned a lot about the distilling process and got to taste some really good whiskeys. And at the end of the tour, we were able to buy a fun little product, and we brought some home, and then we brought some what it doesn't look a lot like whiskey home, but we're going to turn it into whiskey for you guys. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the process of doing that. I thought it was sort of funny. At the end of the tour, we had a chance to go to the gift shop and had a number of products that we picked up, and we had seen this online before we went to the distillery tour. And so we looked at it and we were there and we decided to buy it. And obviously it's a little aging barrel for whiskey, and it's a little miniature process of exactly what they do in the distilling room when they barrel your whiskey that turns it from this clear liquid into what we know as whiskey today. A little fun fact that we learned on our tour is that to be considered Tennessee whiskey, your White Lightning whiskey, if you will, has to be filtered through sweet gum charcoal and has to be aged in a white oak, New American white oak barrel in order to be called Tennessee whiskey. And so we owe our tour director, Holly, for that information. It was really fun to know. So Janice is going to walk you through the process of once we got the barrel home, what we've done to get it ready, and we're going to let you guys watch us fill it up today. And hopefully we'll come back in a couple of weeks as it ages, and we'll kind of give you a report as we go.
So most whiskeys are going to take, could be up to a couple of years in a barrel because the surface area is much bigger. You're filling it with a higher concentration of liquid, but this is much smaller, so we can start tasting this as early as a couple of weeks, depending on how much of the aging process that you like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna age this, we're gonna come back in, I don't know, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, give it a taste. We're actually gonna compare it to the original, then we're gonna wait a couple of more weeks and do it another time. So you guys are going to get to follow the process along with us, and of course we're going to condense it in a matter of minutes. So we bring this home and we unwrap it, and the first thing that you have to do is fill the whole thing with water and put the spigot in. The wood is going to expand, and the idea of the expanding is that nothing's going to leak through it. Now it says that sometimes it's immediate. You fill it with water and there are no leaks. We didn't have that experience. The instructions, which it does come with, which is fabulous, the instructions do say that it could take up to a week, and in our case it probably took maybe 5 days, maybe a little bit more. But we did have little leaks out of the spout. We got a little concerned after about day 3. We had our instructions and they said be patient. Eventually that wood does expand and it seals up all the holes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fill this. Now this kit was awesome. It comes with this stand, everything you see here but that. That was a little side purchase.
The spigot and the little plug that goes in the top when you seal your barrel.
It's going to come with these 2 glasses, and we're going to talk about what makes these glasses special a little bit later. So what we get is we get 6 bottles of clear whiskey. So we are not over here making moonshine. That was already made for us. This is clear. They brought it back to us.
I would say one other thing about this. So you're going to fill this with water, and you're going to put it you're going to put it somewhere.
Some paper towel under it because that makes it really, really easy to see if you're still dripping or not. Once the paper towel stays dry, you're good to go. So I think we're going to fill it.
Okay.
Okay, so we've opened most of these bottles already, and while Daryl is filling it, I'm going to finish opening these bottles. They look like this. Nice handy dandy little seal. Pops off. And voila.
And you'll see we have a very high-end funnel here.
This does not smell like whiskey.
What does it smell like? Oh yeah, it smells like,
yeah,
well, it does smell like corn.
It does smell like corn. Yeah, it definitely has kind of that nutty kind of thing, but you're not getting any of the oaky, caramely, vanilla-y, mapley. That's all gonna come from this little barrel, fingers crossed. So,
Would
in
I
the
get
meantime,
in trouble if I sample this?
I'm fixing to do it. So I tell you what, I'm gonna pour you a glass.
Okay.
I'm gonna pour myself a glass.
Janice mentioned the glasses. We'll show you these in a couple of minutes.
We
Really
will.
fun.
We'll talk more about these glasses. Cheers.
It's not bad. It tastes like corn.
It does. It tastes like corn. You still get a little bit of that warmth going on. And we will talk about the tasting process later after we've kind of made it.
Corn. You would want to be sure. You have to put your spigot in, tap, I'm not sure what you call this thing. You want to put this in, obviously, before you fill it up and let it sit for a few days. Otherwise your water will drain out, duh. But you also want to be sure that it's in the off position when you start pouring stuff in. Otherwise you're going to have a big mess. So I'm checking it is in the off position. And I'm going to fill, and we're going to count to see how many bottles. And it dawns on me that if we're not careful, when it fills up, it's going to run all over the counter. So we got to be careful about that. But we know it'll hold probably at least 4 bottles, and these are not 750 ml bottles, by the way.
But that's a great question.
These,
This is 375 milliliters.
yeah, so it's about half of your regular 750 ml bottle. There's one.
Now the folks at Nelson's Green Brier, Brier, and I will totally link their website below so you can check them out. We were all kind of guessing how much it would hold. So we told them we were going to come home and check it out.
4.5 or 5, I think.
They said
was our
5.5,
guess.
but
Pretty accurate, about 5.5, I'm going to guess.
yeah. Okay, so we've got, what is that, maybe 2 inches left in that bottle, which is perfect because that's what we wanted to save so that we could do a taste test and comparison. This is super fun. Thank you guys so much for checking this out with us.
Hey, and again, Nelson's Green Brier. That's 3 words. Nelson's Green Brier.
And I'm going to click it below. The link will be below so that you can click on it.
The family history of this distillery is, if you're a history buff, is absolutely amazing.
And if you're not a history buff, it's really cool. We had a great time.
This was a rediscovery of the original Mr. Nelson, who was an immigrant, arrived in the United States with nothing in the mid-1800s. The family business was lost, and his great-great-great-grandsons, as the story goes, that you'll get this on the tour, did not know that they were related to this family, and it was a by-chance discovery, and then they decided to learn about distilling and reopen the business. Really great story if you're an American history buff. And so, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll clue you in a couple of weeks on how it goes.
We'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Hey guys, it's been 30 days. We're going to give it a try.
Yeah, so a little bit about the process. You saw us last time when we filled the barrel up. We'd soaked it for several days with water, and it had weeped or wept. I forget how you say that. For several days with the water in it. We poured the water out, and then you watched us as we poured our white lightning basically into our barrel.
By the way, when you pop this thing open, oh my gosh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
there's magic going on in this barrel, definitely.
Definitely. Okay, so 30 days ago, this was clear. In fact, it looked like this because we saved a little bit of it. It's clear. We are definitely getting some color. I don't think I would call this the color of caramel.
Honey.
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
honey.
Definitely the color of honey.
What do you
And
smell?
okay, well, let's talk about smelling this
Okay,
because some of our viewers don't necessarily know how to smell this kind of stuff.
that's a good point.
You stick your nose in here like you're sniffing wine, you're going to open up your sinuses. We don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to put an open mouth over this. Breathe in with your mouth and you're going to start getting those flavors. You want to inhale with your mouth over it, okay? Because if you do it through your nose, you're going to burn out your eyes. We definitely don't want to do this, okay? So we're definitely getting some flavors in here.
I still definitely taste the corn.
Yeah.
It's almost like Kellogg's Corn Pops had a good night out last night. That's kind of how it smells. Definitely moving in that direction of what you would expect a good whiskey to taste like. I don't know if I don't remember if we talked about the difference in bourbon and whiskey. But this is definitely Tennessee whiskey. It's what it's meant to be. And I hope we'll get a chance to talk to you about these cool tasting glasses at a later date.
So take a look at that color. Okay, definitely some good color. And like Daryl said, definitely the color of honey. Wouldn't quite call it the color of caramel. So let's see what we're tasting like. Cheers. Ooh, that was loud.
It was loud.
It's changed.
Yeah, it's
definitely changed.
Taking on obviously some of the oak from the barrel, like an aging wine would. Definitely some vanilla. I think I get in there.
I'm gonna do a mouth rinse with this.
I'm not gonna gargle for that reason.
For that reason.
With the whiskey.
Okay, because the idea with whiskey, you want to get it all over your mouth.
Just not all of your clothes.
Yeah, not all of your clothes and the table, and that was smooth. I just lost some cool points right there. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is you really want to fill that cavity up to kind of get that first little sensation of burn kind of out of your mouth, so that your second taste, what you really get are the flavors. Right.
I can see all of the elements in here. It just isn't quite there yet.
It doesn't have that harsh burn that cheap liquor has. You know, cheap liquor really can set your mouth on fire. You feel like if there's a match around there, it's going to explode. I don't get that off of this at all. But if you were tasting this, you definitely wouldn't kick it out of bed. But you'd kind of go, I've had more intense flavors. So we're going to assume that in another 30 days, this is going to pick up more flavors from the barrel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these bottles and we're going to fill it about halfway full with this, so that we've got a comparison of what we started with, a 30-day, and then we're going to come back in 30 more days, so we can see if it is continuing to age in the barrel or if it just kind of maxed out for us.
But real potential. I mean, this is moving along. I'm so glad we did this.
Oh, yeah.
Learning a lot about the process and really fun. And again, the only thing I would recommend is if you do this, keep something under it, sort of a just in case. And you may not have any problem with all. I think every barrel is different, so we'll see.
Yep. All right. See you in a bit.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey, guys. Welcome back. It's dark. We've been doing this for 9 weeks.
9 long weeks.
9 weeks. When we started, we were in short sleeves and the days were long. It was summertime, and now the days are shorter and now it's darker.
There's been a really big cold snap lately, too.
Yeah, so hopefully whenever you're watching this, wherever you are at a great temperature.
If only there was a way to warm up.
If only there was a way to warm up. If only we could think of some way to get warm. Okay, so you've been following our journey as we've been aging this whiskey in the barrel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the chase. We've got good news and bad news, as this is the final segment, the final installment of this. I'm going to give you the bad news first. The bad news is we lost 2.5 bottles of liquor. We lost this one, we lost this one, we lost half of that one. So we lost 40 to 50% of our liquor. So that's the bad news.
So the question is, what happened to it?
Right.
So we put it in the barrel.
We did. We put it in there.
And then we went to take it out of the barrel, and I thought you had stolen half of it.
Well, he's looking at me going, the barrel feels lighter, and I thought somebody needs to get to the gym. So you were with us when we tapped this at 4 weeks, and the color had changed. We could tell that it wasn't finished, okay? But it was still tasting pretty good and definitely had some potential.
We said it had a kind of a corn taste.
Right.
Like corn pops.
Like corn pops, exactly. And so we decided that we were going to wait until almost Thanksgiving to taste it again. That didn't work. So we came back 5 weeks later. Daryl went to pick up the barrel and said, hey, something's wrong. I picked up the barrel and we said, something's wrong. So we tapped out the rest of it. Now, if you take a look at these 2 bottles, okay, and I'm sorry about the lighting, this is definitely darker, all right? So our final product, we tapped out an entire bottle and then another half a bottle. Now, again, that's the bad news. Daryl, what is the good news? Where'd it go? I didn't take a straw.
As the barrel was aging, we had it sitting in our kitchen on something that was drip proof. And we would notice there were some drips and drops, and you could take literally a paper towel and maybe wipe underneath it. If we kept it on a paper towel, and we would change that towel because it would get a few brown spots on it. But I mean, nowhere near 2.5 bottles of whiskey leaked out.
Right.
So you tell me what happened.
Right.
Is it magic?
Yeah, because I mean, 2.5 bottles, it would have been on the floor, and we would have been cleaning it up off the floor if it came from a leak in the barrel. But that's not what happened. What happened is the process of evaporation. You would think that we could smell it. Well, we can smell it, but not like that. If you go to a distillery, Daryl, you and I were talking about this, the trees, the walls, everything around it is black because the alcohol is evaporating and it looks like everything is charred. So that's what happened. When you go to the liquor store and you're looking at whiskey, you notice the longer that it's aged, the older it is, the more expensive it is. I always thought that was because the producer didn't have access to the product for those additional years. That's not the case. It's because the product is disappearing and evaporating. So it is concentrating, those flavors are concentrating into this barrel. And the reason that you're paying more is because you're having to pay for what gets lost. The upside to that is that you end up with a much better product. And that's why the older it is, the more expensive it is, because it's going down, the level is dropping in the barrels.
Yeah, so if you've ever heard there are two terms you'll hear in distilleries. One is an angel share, and one is a devil's cut.
So enough talking. How about we give it a go? All right.
Oh, remind me to talk to you about these glasses too. Okay, smells really nice, smooth. You do get a lot of vanilla off of this.
That's really good.
Okay, I'm sniffing the bouquet and you're sipping.
No, I'm sipping. Oh, wow. You're getting the depth of the barrel. You're getting the oakiness, that barrel coming through there.
Oak, vanilla.
You get that it is more concentrated now.
A little caramel I'm getting off of that.
I'm getting, if you can imagine caramel that's not sweet, but oh wow,
Yeah,
is this
it's
good?
really good.
And again, guys, we've talked about this before. When you get a better product, you don't have all that burning sensation that's going down your throat and coming up your eyes and that kind of stuff.
There's no back of the throat burn with this. It's really smooth. This glass was designed specifically, you might call it a snifter, but it's not, for whiskey tasting. One of the great things about this glass, if I could show you, is on a flat surface, this glass will not spill.
We took a bottle of our house wine. That's another video that we're going to talk about. But we took a bottle of our house wine. We poured it in there, stopped it up.
Just to be clear, we took the whiskey out.
Right, right. We tapped the whiskey out. Right, because right now it's really popular to take red wines and age them in rum barrels, whiskey barrels, bourbon barrels, and that kind of thing. So we thought, okay, well, we've got it. It's aged this really great stuff. Let's tap this out and let's pour the red wine in there. It did begin to leak or drip, so to speak. You're going to make
me finish this, aren't you?
You don't have to finish it. I'm just saying I'm going to pour this. So we aged some red wine in this barrel. We did not rinse it. We did not try to clean it out. We tapped out the barrel and then just poured this red right on into it.
So whiskey barrel aged, or oak barrel, whiskey barrel aged red wine.
Red wine, okay. Exactly, yeah. So we put it in there, and it did begin to drip out from the bottom a little bit, and we thought this might kind of make a mess. Let's go on ahead and tap it out. And yes.
What would you serve this with? I'm thinking ribs or hamburger.
Oh, wow. This is really, really good. This is something that I would, speaking of enjoying on a cold night or something to warm you up, this is just a good sipping wine.
Yeah, so if you were not a port person. You're not a port person, I am.
Right.
Or I'm becoming a port person, I guess. This is a good port substitute. I agree
Yeah,
with you. It's
it
got
is.
that vanilla richness.
It does. It's got that heaviness.
But no sweetness.
Right. No sweetness. Like this is going to cut through a fatty ribeye really easily. This is going to cut through. Oh wow!
Be good with chocolate.
Process did add a little bit of brown, a little bit of color.
But the ones we bought, the national
oh.
brands we bought, that's typical.
Sure. Yeah, that's not abnormal. That is not abnormal.
I have a question though.
Hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe.
So I don't want to give people the wrong impression. We could have salvaged, I think, at least one of those bottles of wine, if not more, if we had bottled this sooner. So I think if we were doing this again, I think we would just know that 6 weeks in a small barrel. And see, that's the whole issue. It's about surface area. If we were doing this again in this size barrel, and I would love to do this again, we would know that about 3, maybe 4 weeks is the max. And my guess is that we could have salvaged at least another bottle. I think the evaporation happens up here though, and so
sure does.
I think we could have bottled and gotten the same quality product. I think a week and a half sooner, but live and learn. And so
right. And so hey, so Nelson's Green Brier. If you're anywhere in the Nashville area, be sure you check it out. And want to give a shout out to them because this was super fun. We made amazing stuff. This was a great product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. We learned so much. I mean, I'd do this again in a minute.
And if you try it, please put a note on the channel and let us know because this is really fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you've ever done something like this, if you make your own product, and you've got some tips for us, please share them. We would love to hear them. Love to hear from you guys. So please leave something in the comments section. And thank you so much for watching.
Happy holidays, guys.
We'll see you next time. Bye.